necessary things it takes. We're willing to do whatever it takes, like, you know, as far as protest organizations, we're willing to go further to get our point across. And like I say, everything is not okay in this country for our people. We want the people to know it. We're not happy with the Harper government. I think that a lot of us, you know, have come from some bad places, and a lot of us have survived, and we're going to be here longer, and we're going to continue this fight. And honestly, straight up, personally, I'm sick of this shit, and I ain't taking it anymore.
About 150,000 people a year. Those on reserve, off reserve individuals who come to the city to seek a better way of life oftentimes find their way to Council Fire. In Canada today, there's over 500 missing women, 584 to be exact, determined by the Native Women's Association. In March 2010, Stephen Harper cut the funding to the Native Women's Association, that the money that was going to go to the Sisters in Spirit campaign to identify ways and means of protecting women and ways and means of making sure that we don't lose any more. Those missing women have gone as a direct result of the Indian Act. And the Indian Act is alive and well here in Canada today in 2010. Racism is legislated. Discrimination is legislated. It's systematic. How do you lose 584 missing women? You make a direct attack on women and children, those vulnerable. And so when those Indian reserves that have been set aside for the Aboriginal people, Indigenous people to live, haven't grown since they were set aside in the 1800s, yet our populations have. So on those land bases that have infrastructure that's not adequate and housing that's substandard, there still is not enough room for Aboriginal people, Indigenous people, the inherent owners of this country. Yet they're on crowded Indian reserves where they're not being expanded. As a result, they're coming into urban centers and experiencing the same kind of racism and discrimination, maybe even more so, because they don't have friends and family next door to them anymore. They're here in the city. So on this day, as we look around us and we see 250,000 people living on the streets in Canada, I say, go to all of those staff and all of those volunteers who support us at Council Fire to be able to help those who are vulnerable and living on the streets. And Stephen Harper should know this. I believe he does, that those are not my numbers, that is not acceptable, that in Canada today, that conditions for Indigenous people are rated 74th in the world. Those determinants of health have been used to identify those conditions. We are behind the 8 ball at every level and at every turn, and yet we still have to continue to fight for our rights. And I spoke earlier, and I want to bring to the attention of all of us and acknowledge those who have gone before us to stand up and say, and stand up and hold up our duty to creation, to protect each other, to speak for everyone's right to exist as the Creator intended for us to exist. I acknowledge each and every one of you. And as we go forward on this walk, we should let the world know. Each and every one of us need to let the world know that this injustice in Canada and the abuses against Aboriginal women and the abuses against First Nations people and the taking of their land and the disrespect and disregard for our Mother the Earth is not acceptable. And as we stand here today, you know and I know we drink the same water, we breathe the same air, we eat the same food. We're in this together. We're in this together. And so as the world, as they bomb, as they drop bombs and wage war in other countries, it has an impact here. That our spirits are all affected, all impacted by that war. And so it's incumbent upon each and every one of us to speak out for the rights of all living things, not just us as people. The rights of all living things. And the fact that the Creator put these resources here on this turtle to support the existence of all living things, not just a select few pigs who can get to the trough first and claim everything as theirs. Done it.
Grandfather, I tried to speak. They whipped my words stripped my heart. Grandfather, they teach me to be weak. I've not forgotten your face. I've not forgotten your ways. I've not forgotten your words. Let me dance into the spirit world. Creator, bring me light. I pray for breath. I beg for sight. Creator, make me wise. I beg forgiveness. Under moon skies, Grandfather is singing a song to the wind. Grandfather, I stole a dance. They cursed my arms, bound my legs. Grandfather, they say the devil stands in me. I'm afraid to close my eyes. I'm ashamed I carry their lies. Bury my heart in the earth. Let me dance into the spirit world. Creator, bring me light. I pray for breath. I beg for sight. Creator, make me wise. I beg forgiveness. Under moon skies, Grandfather, today my moon came. Grandfather, I bear a child. My gift of life, my womanhood. Grandfather, they hid me, called me wild. I've not forgotten your face. I've not forgotten our ways. And I'll not give in to the hurt. Let me dance into the spirit world. Creator, bring me light. I pray for breath. I beg for sight. Creator, make me wise. I beg forgiveness. Under moon skies. Thank you, and I really want to just let you all know that the change is coming and it's here right now, and we all can contribute in the best way by sharing love energy with each other and good thoughts and a lot of love from our hearts.